Okay, so here's another example. First step, graph the points. So we're at -2, 1 for A. We're at -1, 3 for B. We're at 3, 1 for C. And we're at 2, -1 for D. Okay? So, just like in the last video, after we graph the points, we got to find the distances. So from the distance of AB, we have the square root of 3 minus 1 squared plus -1 minus -2, which means that it becomes a plus squared. This becomes 2 squared plus -1 plus 2 is 1 squared. So we end up with the square root of 5. From B to C, we get 1 minus 3 squared plus 3 minus a -1, which means it becomes a plus squared. We get the square root of -2 squared plus 4 squared, which is the square root of 20, which is 2 root 5. Okay. Then we have C to D, which is equal to the square root of -1 minus 1 squared plus 2 minus 3 squared, which gives me -2 squared plus -1 squared, which is the square root of 5. And then we have D to A, which is the square root of 1 minus plus 1. Because a minus a -1 gives me a positive, plus -2 minus 2 squared, which gives me the square root of 2 squared plus -4 squared, which is 2 square root 5. Okay? So if you notice, after I did all the distances, I have 2 sides that are congruent, and I have 2 other sides that are congruent. So if we take a look at our picture here, okay, AB is the square root of 5. CD is the square root of 5. So these 2 sides are congruent. Okay? Then we have BC and AD are both 2 root 5. So these sides are congruent. Okay? So now it narrows it down to opposite sides. So we can get rid of square, rhombus, and trapezoid because we have 2 sets of congruent sides. Okay? And probably kite as well, because it doesn't even look like a kite. Okay? So now we got to do the slopes. So AB is equal to y2 minus y1. So 3 minus 1 over -1 plus 2, which equals 2 over 1. Okay, which is 2. BC is equal to 1 minus 3 over 3 plus 1, which is equal to -2 over 4, which is equal to -1/2. Okay. CD is equal to -1 minus 1 over 2 minus 3, which is equal to -2 over -1, which is equal to 2. And TA is equal to 1 minus plus 1 over -2 minus 2, which is equal to 2 over -4, which is equal to -1/2. Okay? So, upon doing my slopes, I find out first that AB and BC are perpendicular because they're opposite reciprocals. Notice that 2 flips to -1/2. That's the opposite sign and the reciprocal of the fraction. BC to CD, also opposite reciprocals. Okay? CD to DA, also opposite reciprocals. And DA to AB, also opposite reciprocals. Okay? I then notice that AB and CD, which were the congruent sides, are also parallel because they have the same slope. I see the same is true for BC and AD. So I have opposite sides congruent, I have opposite sides parallel, and I have 4 90-degree angles, which means that this guy, this shape, is a rectangle. And that concludes this example. Once again, I know it's a lot of work, but it's all previous knowledge and a good use of your skills.